Welcome, folks, to my review of Prometheus 2012. The prequel that wasn't a prequel of the Alien movies, or at least the first Alien movie. So let's do a little bit about background. Prometheus, or Prometheus, depending on how you want to pronounce it, was a Titan, one of the only surviving Titans of the war between the Greek gods and the Titans. Basically, Zeus wiped out the generation before him. In legend, he supposedly gave fire to mankind and was punished by Zeus for it, but also in the older legends, he's also the person who created mankind, and that's probably why he's the title of this film, since the whole plot seems to evolve around the engineers who created mankind. So let's talk about the stuff I liked first. Special effects. I saw this on a small television on a DVD. No 3D, no extras, no special stuff. And it was still wonderful. It was beautiful to look at. It supported the story. The technology in the story looked very functional. Very much a part of the Alien universe, though probably a little cleaner, a little more advanced than it probably should have been. And yes, this looks like the ship from Firefly. But I really did like the functional look of it. This looks like something you could have made for actually running around on a different planet or a Kerbal Space Program. It does actually look quite well. The music, good. Not great, but it doesn't overwhelm the story. It became quiet when it needed to become quiet. It is, in the end, a good matchup, I think, between the music and the rest of the film. Is this part of the Alien universe? Yes. It's definitely, like I said, the feel, the setting, a little cleaner probably than it should have been. A lot of the stuff, especially the human equipment, the technology looked a little more advanced, but it was still part of this universe. Now for the bad. And for the bad, we'll have to go straight to the major problem with the film. The characters. The characters weren't just two-dimensional characters. The characters were one-dimensional characters. These people were literally stupid morons. The scientists had no idea about the scientific method, about procedures. These people didn't even have common sense. When you go into a new environment, you do not take off your helmet. When you go into a new environment, you find artifacts, you photo them, you stay away from them, you measure them, you do not touch them. How many times do people say in this film, do not touch anything? Okay. Whoops. Do not touch. Do not touch. This is not a kitty. The biologist was fiddling around with this thing. They were not two-dimensional characters. They were one-dimensional. They were not cardboard cutouts. They were like silk. They collapsed on themselves. There's only two characters, well, three, that I actually liked. First, I like David, but I always find androids and robots and artificial intelligence very interesting. Second, Elizabeth Shaw. Elizabeth Shaw was the main female character and scientist in this movie. Sadly, not this one. This Elizabeth Shaw is a companion of Doctor Who, or the third Dr. John Pertwee. And sadly, the one in the movie is nowhere near as intelligent or interesting as this Elizabeth Shaw, though she does have this overwhelming sense of curiosity that would probably get her and everybody else killed. The third person or character I liked was Victor's. I liked her because she was actually semi-realistic in some of her reactions to what was happening. To be honest, I did kind of get upset when they actually showed her sleeping with the captain just to prove that she wasn't an android. That seemed so much like they're trying to get the teens into seats because of sex and violence. There you have it. The most interesting character in the whole movie was the one that the movie was trying to make look like a bad guy. I was looking for Jason to show up. This movie was so bad. I mean, these people were so stupid. I was looking for him to start showing up to machete them for their stupidity. Sadly, he didn't show up. The story. This story has been told 100 times in 100 ways. Aliens created mankind. What's the question to the universe? Who made us? Where are we going? Where have we come from? This has been done. You've seen it in 100 sci-fi movies, hundreds of books, and it's been done a lot better. In fact, At the Mountains of Madness is probably the best example of this story. In fact, I have to point out there's a website out there that shows the movie and this story together, talking about major points they both share. The suggestion is Prometheus actually stole from the Mountains of Madness. I wouldn't go that far because, like I said, this story's been told 100 times. But the website really does show, point by point, almost all the major plot points and themes in both the book and the film. And yeah, it looks. I don't want to use the P word, but it looks bad. I'd have to give it a 3 out of 5. Now, it's a bad movie. But I thought the beginning was kind of interesting. In the end, where Elizabeth Shaw actually, instead of running back to Earth, actually decides to continue to look for the engineers because of her curiosity. Yes, curiosity kills the cats. Well, not in these films. The cats usually survive. But it was actually an interesting little aspect of her character. It was the only aspect of her character, to be honest. But like I said, the movie was one that you've seen 100 times before. It's asking where we came from, where are we going, why are we here? And the problem is that a lot of that wasn't really questions we wanted answered. We came to this movie to learn about the aliens and the engineers. It's suddenly we have Chariots of the Gods, which we've seen 100 times before. Also, the big problem is, while I'm watching the movie, I'm not asking where the engineers came from, why did they do this, why did they do that. I'm asking questions about the plot holes, like, why did the engineer, after he failed to get off the planet, or, excuse me, it was a moon, with the first ship, not go and find another ship? Why did he go after Elizabeth Shaw? That makes no sense. And if they were all contaminated and prevented from attacking the Earth 2,000 years ago, wouldn't the other engineers and their civilization have come to figure out what had gone wrong, or at least to carried out the operation against the Earth? There's just so many plot holes. And when you have so many plot holes like that, you know, this is not a horror movie because it's gross, but it's not terrifying. It's not science fiction because the science in there is non-existent. It's a question movie. It's where do we go? Why are we here? Where are we going now? Who brought us here? But it's kind of hard to look at the big picture when there's so many holes eating away at it like acid from an alien you just decapitated. And for the record, this is a prequel. I understand it's not on the same planet. I understand it's in the same universe but not the same people and same characters, but it's still a prequel. Thank you for watching. And why is there a picture of this cat in the movie? Just wondering.